Well, fall is upon us, and what does that mean? Moose hunting. Hunting season is here. We're going up to Canada right now. More specifically, we're heading to Northwest Ontario, Sunset Country, and we're going back to a place I've been before, Excellent Adventures. I actually shot a giant trophy bull a few years ago. I'm hoping my luck stays with me and I connect on another big bull. Moose hunting is just an absolute adrenaline rush. And I know that all you people out there that have ever done a moose hunt know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, this last week, the weather started getting down in the 40s. And all you hunters out there know what I'm talking about. When the weather gets down in the 40s, we get all giddy. We start grabbing our shotguns, our bows, our crossbows, and our rifles. We start sighting them in, and we get ready for the hunting season. Well, the hunting season is now. We're heading up to Excellent Adventures, to their floatplane base. We're flying out today. We're gonna start hunting tomorrow, and hopefully have a successful week. As you can see, when it comes to moose hunting, especially on a fly out, there's a lot of stuff you need. But really, the most important things are your moose tag, got that, and your weapon, which I've got that, my rifle. So we're gonna get all this stuff unloaded, get it over, weigh it up, get on the float plane, and guess what? We're flying out today, getting all set up tonight. First thing in the morning, we'll be moose hunting. You know, when it comes to these moose hunts, you obviously need to get all this stuff, all your meat back, safe, sound, cold, so none of the meat spoils. And you know, one of the most important things that people don't think about is like getting that meat back. I mean, we're on a full plane ride for an hour and a half, and then we got another 8-9 hour ride back, and that meat can get really warm really fast, and that's crucial to keep that trophy, that meat, extremely cold. And having a good coolers, if you can see, I've actually got 2 of these 111s. So those bulls can get up to 1,500 pounds. Once you quarter them out, take the meat off the bones, you still got a few hundred pounds of really delicious meat. So you want to get that back fresh so you can enjoy it the rest of the year. It's a good day to fly, especially when you're talking about going for moose, right? I mean, take a fly-in moose hunt. I mean, you get to see a lot of pretty area from the air. You get to see everything. I mean, it's an experience if you never took a float plane somewhere, let alone on a moose hunt, a fishing trip or whatever it may be. If you've never done it, you have to experience it. It's one of the most amazing things. I mean, you're in a little, what are we in, a Beaver, right? We're in a Beaver, they got Cessna, they got all kinds of float planes up here, but it's super cool. It's an amazing experience. So I'm breathing a little hard, partially because I'm probably 52 and out of shape. But also we just had all of our stuff dropped off on the float plane, brought it up here, and then we hauled it up that hill right there to base camp. But I just want to show you, look how beautiful this is behind me. This is our paradise for the next few days. Not only do you get to enjoy this, but we have the opportunity to hopefully connect on a big bull moose. So let me walk you up to base camp and show you what we got going on. Nice little trail all mowed down. Look at this. This is our hotel and kitchen for the next few days. I mean, this is a fly-in tent camp. Look at this. We've got the kitchen. We've got our rooms back there. This is all of our stuff that we partially. Good funny. Nick has been putting stuff away, so there's an extra camp. We thought we might have another hunter in camp, but it's just going to be me hunting along with my cameraman Nick and our guide. Look at this kitchen. We've got a kitchen in case it's raining, which typically happens. There's my good cameraman Nick, helping me put stuff away. Stove. See a little table, chairs. Another table for putting stuff, getting ready for eating. This is our Luxo hotel for the next few days. There's a heat source, which will be plenty warm. These tents are actually contain heat fairly well. So this is what we'll be doing for the next few days. Can't ask for much better. We're gonna get all this stuff put away. This will be our little evening soiree area. We kind of hang out after hunting all day and maybe come back for the midday lunches. Nice chairs, huh? This is all of our stuff that we put away, so that'll be cleared up, put away, and it's necessary. We got all of our food in our coolers. Obviously all our clothing for hunting, and hip boots in that bag, food, pop, everything you need, water for all week long. Hope you follow along. This is going to be an amazing hunt. Again, hopefully we catch up with a big bull. They were saying they put up this camp this last Thursday, and they said they saw a couple of moose nearby in the lake, so that's always a good sign to hear that there's moose. I didn't catch if they were cows or bulls, but it's okay. Wherever there's a cow, it's mating season right now. They're chasing, those bulls are chasing cows now, so we're gonna do a lot of calling. And so you've got cows in the area, so you got that female scent in the area. Guess what? Those bulls are coming. Follow along. Hopefully we connect on one this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Here we go, moose camp, day one. There's nothing better when it comes to big game hunting. I'm back here at Excellent Adventures. Now this is a place that is very near and dear to me because this is the lake. What lake are we on? Pack-Home, where I actually shot a trophy, and I mean a giant bull. So coming back here is something super special to me. Rod, he's gonna be my guide this week, and he's been doing this for a number of years.
I've been 5 years at Excellent Adventures as one of the main guides, and love every minute of it.
You know, moose hunting is a lot of fun, and when you have a really good guide, it makes it even more enjoyable. So again, day one, looks like we got a little bit of wind, so we'll probably be doing a little bit more searching and just trying to find spots, and then kind of figure out a game plan as we move forward. So let's get moving.
You bet.
Cool. So we just pulled into this beach. Beaches are nice because you can tell if the tracks are fresh or if they're old or if there's been moose around. We've got some old tracks, but look at this. I mean, look at the size of that track right there. That's a giant bull. If you look right here, there's a cow. So right now it's breeding season. Guess what? These big bulls are chasing these cows around. Both of these are fresh. So we're gonna set up. Rod went and got the decoy. He's gonna do a little calling. So anytime you find fresh sign like this, they've been here within the last day or two. It's typically the sand. Kind of, the wind will blow it over and you can pretty much tell how fresh it is. So this is a good sign. There's one back here. Three times.
A lot of times when they're cowed up, he'll answer, but he won't come. He'll try and get the cow to come to them so he doesn't have to leave the one that he already has. So I think that's what's going on, is he's back in the swamp here and he's cowed up right now. And now we've got, the wind is up and swirling, so I think maybe we'll back out and just leave him and come back later when the wind calms down again. See if we can get him to come out. If not, we might have to go in for him.
Which those tracks, they're together about a day ago.
Yeah.
You know.
So. And when it gets windy, they go on these lowlands and then they just stay in there with her.
But it's cool, like when you hear it, just like, whoa, that was a moose. Because you just wait and wait and wait. You know, Rodney's calling. Just kinda, and then when he's done calling, you just kind of wait to hear a response. Well, it was probably 10, 15 minutes since he had called, and we were actually thinking about moving. And all of a sudden, boom, he let out three bull grunts, and it's like, holy cow, that's crazy. We know he's there. We knew he was there. Now we know for sure he's there. Well, we're getting a little breakfast this morning. We are all amped up here at Moose Camp. You know why? Because we ran into a big old bull last night. We didn't see him, but he was only about 15, 20 yards behind as he snuck in. It is unbelievable how a 1,000-pound plus animal with a big old rack can sneak through this thick bush up here in Canada, but he did. It was quiet, dead calm. He snuck in behind us, and we thought for sure, you know what? This is gonna be it. He's gonna come out on the beach and we're gonna get a good shot at him. So we're heading back. We're heading back to the same place where we not only heard a bull, Now we almost encountered a bull. We had one, again, like I said, he came in right behind us. That is exciting stuff. Everything is turning around now. The temps, like I said, the temps have gotten cooler. The moose are gonna get on their feet, and I think we're gonna have a good chance of running into a big old bull. Hopefully this morning. Like I said, the wind has died off. It actually changed from the south to the north, so it's gonna bring in some cold temps. The size of that track, that is fresh. It has a big bull. You can tell by the bull because they're so heavy. Their back digs into the dirt. He was here not too long ago. That's a great sign. That's what we've been looking for, something fresh. We've been seeing a lot of tracks, but they've been a little older. What we did today was we just decided to do a little R&D, do a little research on where we're finding sign, and then we'll come back probably next morning or even this evening and do some calling. But if we see something like this, we're gonna call on that right now. This is crazy stuff. It's amazing what those big bulls can do to a tree like that. This is a nice open area where we can get a good shot, you know, go look at a few more areas and start making plans and mapping out our week.
It'd be nice to get one on, like say, one or two on either side of the lake, where we can play the wind. It doesn't matter what way the wind's blowing.
Right.
We'll check that spot out by camp.
Mm-hmm.
That way,
that too, yeah.
See if he's been back, right?
Yeah.
That way, if the wind's out of the north, we can, because this is no good if the wind's out of the north or north. Unless you can't really work this at all.
We can go to these spots like we're doing right now too and figure out, okay, they're probably most likely back there. How do we want to set up? How do we want to call? And then that game plan hopefully comes together when if the wind's going out of the north or the south or whatever. So we got all these spots figured out how we want to set up and how we want to call it. You're not guessing, going in blind and trying to figure it out. It's just not the way to do it. So Rod and I got all set up. We actually were out here this morning doing a little recon. And this spot had 2 sets of fresh tracks. We had a giant, one of the biggest tracks I've ever seen in my life. Bull, and then there was a cow. So, whenever there's a cow and it's breeding season, that bull's not far behind. So, we actually found a trail. There's a tree that comes out right along the shoreline. We're basically on a beach, right? We're in Canada and there's a beach. But there's a trail that goes back into the woods, back into the bush. And Rod was saying he thinks they're just bedded back there until evening, until it cools down, and they come out and start feeding, and he'll probably be chasing her around too. So we're hoping it's all gonna work out. He's actually got a Miss September out there, a decoy, so when he comes out, you'll probably see that and maybe come out to that, or at least redirect his attention away from us. Moose don't have the best vision. They've got great sense of smell, and they basically go off of motion. If you move a lot, they're gonna see you, they're picking you up, but they're actually, like I said, a really bad sense of vision. So if you're sitting still and he sees you, they actually might think that you're another moose. I think you've got a paddle. A lot of times you raise that paddle, they think it's another bull with the big horns, and they'll come right to you. So
yeah, the paddle works really good.
Paddle works really good. He's going to be doing some calling. So it's about 3:30, 3:45. The sun's starting to dip down. It's going to cool down tonight again, and hopefully we get some action. Drop and catch. Nice walleye. Nice walleye. Look there, there's one for the box. Look at that. We'll keep another one for another fish fry. Why not, huh? Have a couple fish fries. We're at Moose Camp. They're strong. This is a nice one here. I'm guessing, but you just never know. They all got fight to them. These fish just don't get fished all but maybe a couple times a year when the moose guys are up here. Ooh, really nice walleye. Oh, really nice walleye. Come here, look at that. Look at that. Nothing wrong with coming up here and catching them like that, is there? Well, you're moose hunting? That's awesome. They're saying they got really big walleyes in here. What I was saying when I was fighting this fish, like these fish get no pressure, none. Like maybe 2-3 weeks out of the year, and it's very limited because it's the only guys that are fishing for them is moose hunters. So there's a number of big walleyes just like that in here. Wow, that is a dandy. Let's get a quick photo and get it back. Look at that girl. To fight another day. There she goes. Nothing wrong with that. That's called bonus fishing when you're moose hunting. Big walleyes. Is there anything better? You know, like I was saying, we're on a moose hunt and we're basically only going to do a little bit of fishing, but I wanted to pack a couple of rods because you can't go moose hunting or hunting in Northwest Ontario, Sunset Country without packing rods, even when you're hunting. I packed 2 rods. I got these Trica rods. I've got a medium light power fast action for the 1/4 ounce jigs, and I got a medium power fast action rod for the 3/8. So I'm basically using a 1/4 ounce and 3/8 and using those 2 rods. Now these Trica rods, as you can see, they got that carbon fiber tapered handle, and the nice thing about that is it really lowers the fatigue on your hand, wrist, and elbow, so you can basically catch these walleyes like we're doing all day long and not have any fatigue. This rod is all carbon except for the Keegan titanium guides. That's the only thing that isn't carbon on these things, and they're ultra light and ultra sensitive. They're amazing rod and they're tough, and the reason I like bringing these rods on a trip like this, a fly-in, because I know they're tough, I know they're going to hold up, and they are super high quality. So we're going to back out. We're going to go do a little more research around the lake, see if we can find a few more spots. It's actually starting to cloud out too, so I like that. It won't get quite as hot. So we know he's here. The wind's swirling, and we can't hear all the calls, even his return calls. He probably can't even hear us.
Yeah, I know. Don't want to blow him out of here either by giving him our scent or anything. So
we know he's here. We're gonna go do some more research around the lake, find some other spots, some other options. There's a lot of moose around here, so he's not the only player in town, but we do know by the size of his track, he's the one we're looking for.
He's a good one.
So we're gonna go jump in the boat and just do a little more searching, and we may pick off one coming to the shoreline too. So we've got a lot of options. We got a few days here to hunt. So like Rodney was saying, usually when they're locked up with a big cow, they're probably breed within the next couple days, and then he'll start looking for the next one.
Then he'll go back on the hunt.
That's right, and we'll be here waiting for him. Let's go. This is just a special place for me, Excellent Adventures, and particularly this lake, because if you look at that island, we actually came around this corner, and the great big bull was standing right out in the water right here, but he ran back into the woods here. And we got back on the back side of the island and got set up, and like I said, he ran back in, but our guides at the time, Boyd and Luke, started doing their thing, doing their calling, and have him come out. And he worked this whole area as those guys were calling, and he was raking and tearing up trees, and it was just an absolute adrenaline rush. And he actually came out right in this exact area and came to the shoreline. And those guys quit calling, because I know darn well he probably would have swam to the island, but they quit calling. He went broadside and gave me a really good shot, ran back, and died right back there. And he was a trophy of all trophies for me. And if you're a moose hunter, a big game hunter, you know what I'm talking about. It was just an absolute adrenaline rush. So I had to get out and just check this area out again, because it was being used by numerous moose back then, but this was 4 or 5 years ago, and things have changed a little bit, and they don't seem to be using this spot right now. That doesn't mean they won't move in at some point, but there's not a lot of browses, a few tracks. But again, I had to get out and just check it out again, because it kind of brought back a lot of memories. All those scenes in my head came back of that moose. And that's why we do these things, to generate memories. Every time I look at that rack on my wall or eat the meat, I think about this exact setting right here. Unfortunately, we're not taking a moose back with us this time. but it wasn't from a lack of trying. We put in a lot of work. Unfortunately, we ran out of daylight and we had to back out, hoping that we could catch up to him the next morning or the next day, but he outfoxed us. But you know, that's part of hunting. But to be able to come up here and experience steaks on an open fire with potatoes under the dancing lights of the northern lights for a couple of days, that's pretty amazing. Or go catch a bunch of walleyes when it's too hot out to moose hunt. Come back that evening, have a shore lunch, and eat it under the stars. That's breathtaking, man. That's a lot of fun. You know, I got to go back to a place where I shot a giant moose. We went back there and kind of reminisced on the memories of where I shot that big bull. That was pretty cool. You know, I think success is measured in a lot of different situations, a lot of different levels, and I know for a fact that this was a successful hunt for me. I'd come back in a minute. Our guide Rod was an amazing dude. He's now a new friend. I learned a lot from him when it comes to moose hunting and life in general. I mean, you come up on these adventures and you just run into people and you become friends for life. So, you know, there's a lot of levels of success and how people measure success. This, to me, was a successful trip, and I will be back at Excellent Adventures very soon. Plane isn't going to be here for a couple hours. I think I'm going to go catch a few more walleyes.